So I've been doing some courses. It's not a course. Well, I haven't been doing courses. I have been just observing my cousin, who is doing the course, um, to simply help her do it a little bit better. I was there to give her some input on which things she can improve. So the courses were on Ayurveda. Something very interesting, of course, me being a yoga teacher, I know something about Ayurveda. I'm not very skillful at it, but I know the basics. And it made me think and reflect on how I have been trying to eat sattvic food for a long time now, and how that has affected me, and how that has transpired in other parts of the life. Of course, Ayurveda is not just about food, it's about habits, it's about how you manage your emotions. But I sort of revisited you could say, the process of my transformation. And what I felt was the biggest change in my life in the past, let's say 5-6 years, maybe even more. So if I take a look at now and let's say 10 years ago, how is my attitude to my life different? I would say that I have more feeling of being in control. And now this is not necessarily the control over the money that I'm making. Of course, there is one little thing that Ayurveda doesn't teach, but has this kind of an implication of tracking simply your spendings is the best way to get back in control of your material, let's say, money dimension. And this is something that I have been doing on and off, and now I'm doing it regularly. I sort of got used to it being an accountant. Once I stopped tracking the company expenses, I was kind of tracking my own, because I had the spreadsheets, and yeah, it's normal. I had this habit. The other thing is tracking the calories. The calories that you're taking in, and this does not necessarily have to do all the time, but it has to be consistent for about a month or two, I would say. And just to make you feel what is a portion, what is 200 calories, what is 500 calories, so that you realize that the piece of bread that you're eating, one might be 500, one might be 300. There are so many different choices, and this is where my realization actually comes, the key to why I feel that I'm in control. It's mostly because I stopped eating at restaurants. I stopped buying ready-made food. Now, yes, on and off, I do go to a bakery. I maybe buy some bread. I maybe buy some croissants or a little bit of some cookies or stuff like that. But mostly, whenever I want to eat some processed food, I usually make it. I make my own dried tomatoes. I make my own sauerkraut. I make my own jam. Yes, I do buy. I don't make all of them, but when I do get the chance, I did. Let's say for about 2 years, I did make all of these things by myself, and now I feel that this is not just about the awareness of what goes in me. Either it's money or the food. It's about the whole process from zero. So from actually paying for the groceries, bringing them back home, preparing them, so mise en place, preparing the portions for each day, planning, and actually cooking. And all of that goes not through somebody else's mind, and it doesn't pass through somebody else's emotional chaos. It goes through me, and it is connected to the principle of sattva, and how actually the sattva is not only created by what you are eating, or even how you're eating, if you're sitting down or standing up, or quickly or slowly, but also what you're doing during the preparation of the food. So I don't know how people feel when they are preparing my food. For example, in restaurants. But I know how I feel, and I know that every day I'm feeling better and better. And I would say that the food that I used to eat, for example, at my parents' house, is so much different from the food that I eat now. And I'm not saying that was a bad food, but it just wasn't for me. I needed something else. I needed some kind of other kind of input, so to speak, other qualities, because what comes down to is the elements and the doshas, right? The vata, kapha, and pitta. And my dosha might not be compatible with my parents' dosha. So we all have different life paths and different predispositions, and perhaps it's wise actually to start from the elements and seeing what do I need, not what am I taught to need, or what am I left to believe to need, but what is my material need. And then of course that reflects onto the emotional, intellectual, you can call it creative, any sphere of life where you see that with less you feel more, you feel more quality. Of course that is for me, for you might not be. Yeah, so it is not only the awareness of the material input, it is the whole process that brings you to this balance or harmonious state. It's like, for example, if you have a boat and you make your boat out of the best material. If somebody else gives you the boat, you're not going to learn anything about this boat. You're not going to know what are its weaknesses, or it might be the best material, but you're not really familiar with it. And once you get into the stormy sea, maybe you don't even have the practice of rowing it, and you don't know how to navigate in certain tricky situations. But if you build your boat, you know it inside out, you know how it is. It takes time to build it, it takes time to learn, to get into the level of fitness of being able to row, and maybe learning from other people what it takes to row your boat on the stormy sea or the ocean, or maybe even by the motor, the sails, whatever. So with time you can add things to it, but if you already buy the made stuff, you cannot really add things to it easily that are that will meet your needs. Okay, this is a weird metaphor, but I'm almost at the end of my row. There you go. This is the last stitch of the whole project. So now I just have to tie it all together. Get the needles out. This is gonna be enough. Bye bye needle. And see you in the next video.